Hello Taurus gang, welcome to my channel Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That's me, my name is Annie, and I'm going to read your tarot cards this week. So this will be a weekly general reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Of course, anyone and everyone is welcome in this reading. I just ask that you come in with an open heart, with an open mind, and take away only what resonates, release the rest, assume it's going out to someone else who needs to hear it if it is not you, okay? Let's try and have some fun, get you some helpful, insightful messages. Thanks for your patience. My 1 week off turned into 2 weeks just mainly because my energy was just bad. I kind of had to recoup a little bit, but I'm here, I'm back, and we're going to do it. So thanks for your patience there. All right, let's do it. Oof. You have some tricky cards coming up. I'm not going to lie to you, but I am here to give you solutions, not just problems. So I'm going to help you work through this, but it seems like you guys are having a bit of a week here. Where do I want to start? There may be a little bit combativeness with a male fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sag, particularly a Leo, but it doesn't have to be. There seems to be like some really heated arguments, and I'll be honest, like a little bit of ego involved for both of you, like no one wants to give. And Virgo kind of had a similar reading, to be honest, so it's probably something going on with the earth signs this week. These are weekly readings, this doesn't mean forever. But let me look at this. You've reached your limit on something. I feel like you're with a partner or even a friend, a boss, someone who, what is that expression I love? It's like an apology without changed behavior is manipulation. That's sort of what this is in a nutshell. It's not saying that this person is, the Antichrist, right? I'm not saying that. Obviously, they have good qualities in them somewhere, which is why you fell in love with them or why you wanted to work with them in the first place. But I think you've tapped out. You've reached a limit where, and it doesn't have to be them as a person, but a certain behavior or a certain habit, a certain pattern that it's like you've had the discussion before, but it's never reached a tipping point where there are consequences now. That's important for unchanged behavior. This could even be with your kids, right? It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be, a boss who constantly says the wrong thing that sounds condescending at, the meeting, and you've had to call it to their attention in a polite way. Now you're at a point where, this can't go, unresolved. I need to see some major changes, and good for you for standing up for yourself, but I also see this person as very, I don't know if they're playing the victim and denying that it's happening, or if it's more just they're feeling hurt and attacked, and so rather than acknowledging it and taking accountability, they're kind of using that as an opportunity to do the well, you're overreacting, you're being oversensitive, it's not an issue for anyone else, which again is not helpful to the situation. If this person truly loves you, if this person truly respects you, they will listen, not just talk at you, right? There's definitely some uncomfortable silence here, but to be honest, I think this sounds so silly, but any successful fight, you clear the air, you say what you need to, and then both people go off, whether they are separated or whatever. And there's some inner thought. There's some inner contemplation when you're not kind of under the gun and stressed out and needing to give answers to this person's comments or commentary, where you actually start to absorb what the conversation was actually about. You maybe start to do the benefit of the doubt for your person, but also then for yourself. You understand, you kind of put it through a new filter when you're off on your own. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Again, I would argue that is successful in that, your words actually are reaching each other on a more personal level. It just might not be in the heat of the moment when you're having that. We can call it a fight. We can call it an argument. We can call it a disagreement. Doesn't mean it's the ending of a relationship. But again, honesty is my policy here. You have tricky cards. You have someone is just really fed up. This is a situation or scenario that has been going on a long time. I would even say with this depiction too, if this is not something that has been a long time coming, for most of you it has though, there could have been the revelation, especially to you Taurus, that someone in your life who you trusted very much was actually going behind your back, and it's a big source of heartbreak. So I'm not necessarily saying it has to be cheating, but I'll be honest, that's kind of the first thing that comes to mind. I don't do fear-based readings. Again, I'm not here to just give you problems and be like, what are you going to do? I'm going to tell you what I see in the cards and where we stand with this. But from those two cards, which these are tricky, ask any tarot reader in the book, these are tricky cards. You also have a lot of energy of fighting and quarreling and someone not wanting to see the truth or turning a blind eye, not wanting to take accountability, preferring to kind of retreat. Again, because egos have been wounded. You know, there's a dueling energy, a lot of kind of harsh, angry, sharp words or something that was said without thinking it through very impulsively. It's agitating. I feel like there's a lot that needs to be said because either it's been a long time coming, or again, if this has all been a secret and something is revealed, it's almost like you have years of... I'm almost getting like inquiry, like, well, how long has this been happening? And again, let's not immediately cast this person as the villain. That's never what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be very neutral. I mean, yes, I'm Team Taurus in this video, but this could even be you discovering that your partner, who you thought had recovered from, like, alcoholism, it's possible that they, fell off the horse and, you thought maybe it had been, a couple months and it's been a couple years. Do you understand what I mean? There's some revelation or revealing information that it's just... You literally, like, hand on your heart. Like, what? It takes you back. If it's not that, it's the opposite, where something has been nagging at you for months, potentially years, and all of a sudden you're just like, I'm done. If you don't change this, I'm walking. And in that case, it doesn't necessarily have to be addiction. I'll be honest, for some of you with the Devil and the Four of Cups, it could be addiction. Like, the idea is there, I want to get better, but this person may not have realized their own inner strength to get through it. And I don't mean that in a critical way. It's just simply, it's their battle to fight. You can't fight it for them. And for a long time, maybe you were. Maybe you were their cheerleader. Maybe you were their coach. Maybe you were the person reminding them to do this or asking them to do that or encouraging them to go get that job or whatever it is. And it's almost like you were putting in the strength, the muscle work, but you were doing it for the other person when really, this is all, in my humble opinion, as a tarot reader on YouTube, this is all fated. This is destined because you can't possibly uphold or maintain or keep up this attitude of, oh, I got you, don't worry, I'll save you, I'll come to your rescue. Eventually, this person needs to step up and do the work themselves. And I always say this too, as admirable as it is that you love to help people, it also shows that you lack boundaries and you lack limits, right? And again, I hate to criticize, I'm just being honest with you. I think there's something here where, well, let's use the word enabling, right? As much as you love your child, you can't take the bottle out of their hand if they are, an alcoholic or something of the sort. You can encourage them, you can support them, but you can't do the internal work for this person, and that's where we're at. So whether you're meeting this person with anger and hostility or just heartbroken, taken aback, I can't believe this has still been happening, I think it is necessary for people to... I'm not encouraging you to have like a drag out fight here, especially not physically. Inevitably, I think there's going to be a lot of words, a lot of harsh words, a lot of angry words had. Do not think that that is where the story ends, though, because as I said, there's an exchange of words and then both people take a break, they step away from the hostility a bit, and they really start to internalize and process what is actually being said, what they needed to say, what they wish they had said differently. So my point of this is eventually I think there will be a conversation part 2. I don't totally know what the vibe of that conversation is going to be, but let's see what the cards say a little bit. Doesn't mean the energy this week, it's tricky. All of the cards are met with these kind of oppositions and not wanting to see the other person's perspective of it. So, do you have to? Of course not, but maybe this is a great opportunity for you to be the bigger person and put yourselves in the shoes of that other person. Maybe you've been doing that all along and now it's their turn to do that, right? Where is there reciprocity in this relationship? I definitely see that that's been lacking in the past. When this person decides that they want changed behavior for good, they are completely capable of it. But again, that's their journey. It's not yours. You may have been sort of a... what's a word? Almost like a hitchhiker along the way on their journey through life. I know that's kind of cheesy, but whether you stay with that person or not, it was destined that you were to meet and interact because you did have some effect on this person. And I'm sure it's both negative and positive, right? With the energy this week, it feels a little bit negative. But again, in the long run, was it for the best? Probably. Ooh. Queen of Wands. A lot of fire energy here. The best time to make a decision is when you've quieted your mind. I would not do it in the heat of the moment, especially when you are making very important long-term decisions about your future with this person. Again, husband, best friend, child, whoever this is, your boss. For a lot of you, it's being relayed to me in a story about third-party activity, so I'm going to tell you that version of it, but know that that's not going to be everyone's truth, right? The Queen of Wands can sometimes be the instigator of third-party stuff, and I do sort of see potential for that. Like, how long has this been going on? Or maybe if it wasn't years of it, it was like they slipped up once, only they thought it was buried in the past, and the past is coming back up. Mercury retrograde, right? So there can be twisted facts, there can be twisted information, so don't jump to conclusions until all the evidence is laid out. I do feel like you feel like in some way someone went behind your back and did something that when it comes to the surface, it really does hurt you. So understandably, you're feeling a lot of things, right? You're feeling anger, you're feeling sadness, you're feeling disappointment, you're feeling confused, uncertain of the future. That's okay, right? That is part of the process. It's not fun, it's not comfortable, but from that growth, growing pains, that's where you're gonna kind of align to your North Star again and get back on track. And you are on track. Again, I would argue this is all kind of fated. You have free will, but the pieces are aligning for something about this. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back. We really can't do this anymore, so we have to address it. No matter what you choose to do, it has to be talked about in the open. There has to be open communication about what's going on. Some of you may try going to couples therapy. Some of you are definitely on the fence of, do I want to stay with someone who completely disobeyed my trust? How could I ever learn to trust them again? And part of you, I get it. It's hard because you're on the fence. I love this person, but again, you need to quiet your mind. This is a major transition in the relationship you have with this person. And so really think about that. You know, there really is no right or wrong choice. You have to do what's best for you. But I do think a lot of this, it's just there's a betrayal. There's a betrayal of trust. Somebody's words didn't match their actions. Somebody didn't honor their vows. That's pretty important to the Taurus, right? Being the Hierophant, right? The religious leader, the Pope, the priest. Yeah, it's like Knight of Wands. Someone got curious. Someone decided to stoke another fire. Somebody decided to pursue or follow their passions elsewhere, and so where did that leave you? In a really awkward spot. Part of me wants to say you may have the upper hand in this, because I do think if there was, I'm not saying you're perfect, I'm not saying you're in the clear, I think you're very likely going to air some grievances that you've had building up for a long time, but you know, you're human. Generally speaking, it feels like there's a slip up or some really kind of nasty behavior on the part of a counterpart of yours. But again, in the grand scheme of things, all the relationships we have, you know, the whole twin flame thing we love to talk about and romanticize, every single relationship in our life really just does hold a mirror up to teach us about how we are as people, how we interact individually, right? Yes with the other, but the morals, the standards, the values we hold for ourselves and what we tolerate in relationships. That's what this is, right? This was a really excellent tool for learning about yourself. And whether you choose to pursue, again, a future with this person is entirely up to you. I would just say give this a little time and space. Don't feel like you need to be reactive and make a decision on the spot. Some of you will, and that's fine. But I do think in time, again, there's going to be that separation or whatever it is, right? Even if this is just an argument and it's not divorce. During that period of kind of contemplation and introspection, I think you're going to, when your mind is a little bit more quiet, you're going to be able to receive messages from the universe, from your spirit guides around you that will help to inform you on how to move forward with this, if that is what you are seeking. If you out the gate know your truth and someone has crossed a line with you and you are done, who am I to tell you differently, right? That's your truth. That's your choice. I just keep wanting to say wandering eyes and like a betrayal. Someone disrespected you or or there's major trust issues in this relationship, but it may have shown itself in a way that you weren't anticipating. I think this is a deeper issue than some of you realize. Does it matter the zodiac signs? Not really, because I think you're going to know if this is your message. Just to be clear, though, I do have Capricorn. I have a lot of Leo energy, especially male fire signs. You know, love my male fire signs, but this is a low vibing one. So Aries, Leo, Sag, Capricorn, Gemini, Aries, Sagittarius, and Pisces may or may not be involved here. I feel like some of you may have strong Pisces in your chart, which to me, in a sense, again, love my Pisces. I shouldn't need to say that. I love all my signs, but every sign has negative and positives. One of Pisces' negatives is they have very difficult time drawing firm boundaries, so they tend to get played a little bit. They tend to get used by people who are vibing low. They get taken advantage of. So if you strongly resonate with, you know, your Pisces moon or your Pisces rising, this is very likely you. Again, like, calm your mind, the answers will come. Your connection to spirit and source is very strong right now. So your spirituality, your religion, whatever that may be, will help get you through this. And you're not alone. You have people who will help you through. You do have friends. You do have family. Even if you're watching this saying, I have nobody, you do. There's people out there who love you and are rooting for you. I think this, whatever it is, needs a little bit of a break. There needs to be like some time away from each other so you can both assess fairly and honestly if you still see potential in this connection. This card is like sticking out at me. The Star. This relationship needed to heal in some capacity. It's almost like the elephant in the room that no one wanted to address, only for some of you, you didn't know the elephant was even in the room. You didn't see it. I think intuitively you felt like something was off, and Spirit did you the gift, if you will, the favor of revealing it to you. Again, it's not comfortable, it's not fun, but it was necessary. It had to happen. So, oh, Taurus, this was a bit of a heavy one this week. What's the job situation looking like for Taurus this week? I mean, this could all be happening in a workplace too. This doesn't have to be romantic, but any other lighthearted messages or something, maybe career-wise or other love messages, whatever comes out, I'll read it. Justice. All right, so maybe a new contract with a water sign, a King of Cups, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Let's see. So this is new. Two of Cups in reverse. I think when you let go of another relationship and honor your truth, justice, right? The scales, equilibrium, balance. When you start setting intentions and manifesting relationships and partnerships that are more equally balanced. Again, having good boundaries, good give and take and reciprocity. When you raise your vibe and aim higher, quite frankly, you actually end up with a really good match, especially like professionally. But the King of Cups makes excellent financial offers and he makes excellent romantic offers. Scorpionic energy, which is your sort of, I don't say divine counterpart. I used to use that word, but I don't really like it anymore, to be honest, is your opposite on the zodiac. So there's a nice little yin to the yang. Perfect example of the scales. I always think of Jerry Maguire, like, you complete me. There's yin to your yang there. Scorpio and Taurus tend to work well together. It's not to say you guys are identical. You're not the same, but there's, earth and water. There is typically really great compatibility. But also, qualities that can irritate too, because there is differences. But I think in any healthy relationship, there are differences, but you love this person when you're willing to work through them. Are you willing to work through these, or is this a deal breaker? It's up to you. I think a lot of you are going to give this a break. I think a lot of you are going to put pause on this and explore what else is out there. And quite frankly, I think you might like this a lot better. Libra, Scorpio, Virgo. Anyway. All right, Taurus, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye, guys.